Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Tanya Summerton, the Divorce Angel, and I'm here today with Liz Newton from Style Transformation. Liz works with me as one of my army of angels, and Liz believes that how we dress can truly make a difference to our world, not only in what others may think, but the real power which lies within. How are you, Liz?
Hi, welcome. I'm very well. Thanks for having me, Tanya.
That's great. So why did you choose to become a stylist?
I've realised that there is, the basic fundamentals that everybody has to get dressed every day, and it's such an empowering thing to make a difference to people. So putting those two key things together, I think, made me realise that if people are in a bit of a rut, or if people have changed body shapes, or they're having an actual change in their life, that by enlisting a stylist, they can really get some power and impact and fulfillment back in their lives simply by what they're wearing. So I think the thing there is that, it's very much in vogue, I guess, at the moment. Everybody is really interested in looking their best, presenting their best. It makes such a difference to, I think they used to say we had 10 seconds to make a great first impression, which is now down to 2.5 seconds to make a great first impression. So, what you wear can really make a difference, and also to how you feel.
And I think on your website it says that you help people become the best versions of themselves.
Because it's very empowering to actually, I think personally I really get a lot of satisfaction when you watch a client in the mirror and they have some aha moments of looking at themselves and really finding happiness again. It's not like you've lost 5 kilos or anything's changed. It's just by wearing clothes in a way that's really flattering your body shape, is really highlighting your features, accessing and highlighting your best assets, as opposed to focusing on the things that you don't like about yourself. There are ways and tricks where we can really show off the most attractive parts of ourselves, and that in itself is probably my favourite thing, is the fact that people look in the mirror and that you see them grow taller. You see them hold their shoulders back and their necks high, and they have this reconnection with themselves. So I think it's a very rewarding and satisfying job. So I think bringing out the best version of yourself means that you carry yourself with more confidence, and you're I believe that what we wear is really almost like a suit of armor. So sometimes we put things on in a way that we want to protect ourselves from the world. And I think it's more empowering for us to actually put things on in a way that's showing the best side of ourselves. So being brave and confident, and being out there with the same suit of armor, but in a way that is more approachable and more, to be able to walk down the street and hold your head up high and feel really confident and self-assured. It doesn't matter what size you are. We've all got that capacity, and that we all deserve that.
And I think sometimes it's a bit like a fresh haircut, isn't it? We continually wear the same clothes majority of the time over and over again, and we don't actually think that sometimes those clothes are actually not fitting us properly, or making us look fatter, or whatever our biggest issue may be.
Yeah.
And it could be as simple as just a different cut of pants. So for the audience, I actually, before I work with anyone in my army of angels, I actually work with them and get to know them. So I was lucky enough to have Liz come around to my house. So Liz, do you want to explain to the audience when you work with a client, what you actually do and what the process is to get the best value out of your service?
Sure. Yeah. So there are different sort of packages available to people, but everyone starts with the basic style consultation. So that's really a point of us to get to know each other, and a way that we connect. So I get to understand my client, and also, both of us build a little bit of rapport and get to know one another. That's my critical period to understand and assess potentially what is your current style? And what do you like about your current style, or what do you want your current style to be? So quite often it's a case there where perhaps we are stale, or we've gone through things, especially going through divorce. Obviously, you've gone through a lot of emotional trauma and things that have completely changed who you are. So understanding the basis of what you've been through. Sometimes people want to shed that skin. They want to let go of what that felt like, and they want to perceive themselves differently. And they don't really know how to do that, because when they go out into the shops, they end up choosing the same things that they're familiar with. So they've they don't know how to move into a new space and create a new style for themselves to be perceived differently. So yeah, we always start with a basic style consultation. I say basic is actually an hour. It's quite an in-depth conversation, and a very, very valuable one. So that's a really powerful and impacting and empowering place to start. Then I would highly recommend we go through and do a wardrobe review, which everybody goes, oh, I don't want anyone to see my wardrobe. You know, it can be a little bit intimidating. I think the concept of it is worse than you think. But the real value there is being able to have a look at what's in your wardrobe that you love. What's in there that you want to keep, what's in there that you identify with. There are some key components that perhaps sometimes there's ways to wear things differently, or with my fresh eyes, I can put outfits together that you wouldn't normally have put together, because maybe you've been wearing them in a corporate aspect, and you've no longer in the corporate area, and you might have transitioned into a different career that has more flexibility, and you want to show more creativity. So by me coming in and spending time in your wardrobe with you, it gives me a sense where I can put pieces together and see if that fits your new style, sort of your style that you want to portray, and that way you can rework pieces. Perhaps there's things in your wardrobe that you could alter or tailor, or chop the arms off some long jackets and shorten them, or change the lapel and put a leather. I'm looking at your beautiful blue blazer, and I'm thinking that would look amazing with a different lapel, just to add some parts that are different, just to style things up differently. Of course, accessories and things like that always make a big difference as well. So the wardrobe section is not necessarily to go in and just throw everything away. It's a sense of understanding what's in there that works, what's in there that you love, what do you want to keep, what are you prepared to let go of, because that's a very cathartic process and a cleansing process. When we can let go of some pieces, it means that there's a real sense of allowing newness to come into our lives. And that's really where the value comes, in being able to shape the person that you want to create and who you want to be, as opposed to potentially you've been wearing clothes that make you feel a certain way and you're ready to move on from that. So after the wardrobe section, I generally want to make sure that I'm doing a little checklist, and I'm figuring out which key pieces we need to look for. And then we have a day shopping together, where I've got my list. I know what key pieces that we need to implement out in the stores that are very current, beautiful, on trend, fresh and modern, that fit with your new style of who you want to be and how you want to be perceived. And we go out and have some fun, which really is fun. I've usually gone and pre-selected in the shops key pieces that I think are really going to potentially push you outside of your comfort zone. And with in mind, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about the pieces that you've already got in your wardrobe that you love, that you're attached to, and that are really still, they're valid. They deserve to take that key real estate space in your wardrobe. And I'm thinking about how can we blend those pieces together to create a beautiful new wardrobe that people love, that they want to get up and play with every day. It should be a real sense of play and enjoyment back in your wardrobe. So that's putting it all together. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, it was interesting. If we go back to the first part of your process, I remember when I sat down with you and you made me go through an iPad, and I had to choose which fashion, I suppose, icon I wanted to probably be represent myself out in the world, and it was from that sort of, I think there was 10, and you then said to me, right, well, if this is the person that you want to dress like or be like, now let's go to your wardrobe and let's find those pieces that's the, you know, what you will represent out in the world. And I loved that the most, I think, just thinking, wow, I've actually, for the first time ever, I sat there and actually thought about who I wanted to represent, or, you know, how I wanted to represent myself.
Be perceived as.
Yeah, exactly. And that was lovely. And then obviously with my wardrobe at that time, I think we may have spent about 6 hours going through all of my stuff and everything. But the thing I got the most out of that was I had a ball gown which I was ready to throw away, and you said, no, don't. Go and actually have the bottom bit cut off, and then all of a sudden you've got a black tie outfit for when you go out. And I've actually went and did that. And I have to tell you, that dress I think may have been $600 or $700 when I originally purchased it. I went and got the skirt done not that long ago, and it was $50. So I've now got this skirt that I can just throw anything on at the top, and, you know, if it's last minute, I don't need to think about it. It's there all the time. But I was prepared to throw that out.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realise that you'd taken that next step. I remember us having the conversation about how to really utilise. I think that's just something that, you know, look, I actually believe, well, I hate to say it, but fast fashion in particular is really wasteful for the planet, and the fashion industry is a big polluter because the fibres don't break down, and people are just throwing things away without really a lot of regard for, you know, the money spent on it, whether or not you can reuse it, where else it can go. I think I also mentioned to you, Tanya, that I love the idea of, you know, things that no longer serve people in their wardrobe, to give that back to the community and to charities and places that are also, you know, that they're happy to take all those beautiful pieces, or like I suggested with you, that it's such a stunning piece and it looks amazing on you, that why don't you just think about reworking it differently so that you can continue to love it, especially if it's in good condition. You know, like if it is one of those key pieces that you spend a lot of money on and you're not wearing, you know, you may have only worn it 3 or 4 times over its period, then generally speaking, the quality of the fabric is really exceptional, and you know that by altering it in a certain way, you can still get lots more life out of it. So yeah, I'm really happy to hear you've done that. It was a beautiful, beautiful dress. So yes.
Yeah, no, it was great. So and I think something else that you taught me when you were going through my wardrobe was also about wearing things differently. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, so it's one of my personal little tricks that I think it's just because I've got a creative eye. I often will look at anything on the hanger and I will turn it round the other way to see whether or not there's the functionality of wearing it 2 ways. If I wore this little black and white top that I've gone, if I turned it round the wrong way round and it has a high neck on it, or, you know, potentially certain things have a different drape, where why don't you consider turning it around and wear it? No one's going to know if it's well cut and beautifully made. People won't know that it's actually worn the wrong way around, but it gives you the versatility to actually wear an item in different ways and styling it in different ways. So yeah, that's one of my funny little tricks that I often do. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I was out at a function one night, and a lady said to me, "Oh, I love your cardigan. Where did you get that from?" And I said, "Actually, I've had this beautiful stylist come around. She told me to wear it upside down." And because she's asked what shop I got it from, where did you get it? And I said, "It's actually an upside down, really old cardigan."
Yeah, which was great because it means that you get to wear it. I mean, I think also sometimes a certain style looks a certain way when it's draped, but when you wear it in, I think you were talking about wearing it in a shortened version, weren't you?
Yeah, so this is a longer cardigan, and I turned it, like you said, upside down. So then it sort of had like a lapel that flung over. Yeah, it gave it a whole different look.
Yeah, awesome.
I had a client, one of a current client. She's a beautiful, beautiful lady, And she was in my office the other day, and she told me that she's shifting houses. So her and her husband are obviously separating. She's moving out of the family home, and he's already moved out. She's got a massive wardrobe. She told me she had 99 cardigans. So what do you think about someone that has 99 cardigans? So I said to her, I think we need to cull some of those. And she said, no, I've been collecting them for 20 years, and there's pieces that go together, and da-da-da-da. I need to find a home. I need to take these with me. So she's come from having a wardrobe that sounds like it's big enough for a whole room, and she's now got she's now shifting into a smaller townhouse and that sort of thing. And her struggle is around her clothes and finding enough places for her shoes and enough places for her cardigans. What would you do in that instance?
A couple of things. I think quite often, what I'm hearing there, when people, it's almost like family. These cardigans have become so sentimental. They mean so much to us. So the sentimental, emotional attachment towards clothing is something, again, it is that sheet of armour. It's a way that we know we gain comfort and we feel okay and we feel safe. So I can hear that she, obviously a lot of these cardigans have sentimental attachment because there's a lot of stories attached to them. So perhaps she's collected them on her travels potentially. And I think something that would be good because of the emotionally, when we're able to let go by purging and creating a space in our wardrobe, I think it would be really great for your client in particular, because the emotional baggage attached to all of these items means that it's keeping her in an emotional state, because all of that stuff actually weighs something on us emotionally. As much as she feels as though it's comforting her, it's also weighing her down. So it's not allowing her to potentially see what other possibilities are out there in a way of dressing, in a way of representing herself. So she would be a very exciting client to take on. I think the thing there is to understand how to still allow that client to have that emotional fulfillment and satisfaction, potentially with a much smaller number of those cardigans, figuring out, generally speaking, she's probably got colour palettes. So let's say she's got 100 cardigans. Yeah. So if that's the case, there's probably only 3 or 4 or 5 maximum key colours, and they're all slightly different. So she's probably got 10 in black. We don't really need 10 black cardigans. We really need to find the one. And it would be the one that is the most wearable, in the best condition. Has that functionality of being able to wear it in multiple ways. So yeah, I would be really, really, suggesting to her quite strongly that if she could limit it down and have a look at how she could just minimize the number of selections there, then it's going to give her more freedom to have other things in her wardrobe that will serve her better. So, I guess that's my number one tip, is if there's a way, generally colour palettes are pretty obvious, and she's got probably too many in a certain colour, and if she could just limit them down to 4 or 5, she's going to have that freedom and that space, that wardrobe space, which I call serious real estate. Because, if you think about how much is taken up, we haven't got the time to wear all of those pieces. We end up going back and choosing our favourite key pieces that make us feel a certain way. And I promise you that as much as she may think that all of those items made her feel that way, when we put it on, we have memory recall about an instance when, I wore that and such happened. So it's a feeling that's attached to wearing it. And you need to have a look at, does it suit my body shape? Is it really current? Is it really fresh and modern? Is it making me look old? So there's a lot of work to be done and a lot to discover, and so much value in having someone like me come and assist you to tell you, with sincere, heartfelt emotion about, is that really working for you in a positive way or not? So with full respect for the emotional sensitivity involved with the clothes that we have in our wardrobe, because there's a lot of money and emotional time spent on choosing them.
And
Good question.
Yeah, well, you've hit a key point there as well, because when we're in a relationship, in a lot of cases where money's not an issue, and let's say, for instance, in this client's position, it's not that what hasn't been an issue. Now maybe it is going to be an issue. What are your thoughts on, do you need to spend a lot of money to look good? There's a lot of shops now that are popping up where you can go in and you can buy a $20 shirt and, you only have it for a season. But, years ago, I know when I first started work, my mum always said to me, you need to spend, have really good pieces in your wardrobe.
Oh.
And so what's the key now? Do you do that? Do you still have those functioning or expensive pieces and go out and supplement with cheaper items?
Yeah, I think, look, nowadays it really does depend on people's budget. Fundamentally, obviously, I would recommend that what's best for people is to understand, in order to get the best value from their money, to invest in key pieces that have longevity. So there is, what everybody's talking about it now, but there is what we call the capsule wardrobe. So there are some key fundamental basics, like your classic black pant that everybody needs. And obviously, if you're spending the money and really investing in a beautiful black pant, it's going to hold you through a few seasons, because it's functionally wise, it's going to fit, it's never going to date, it's going to maintain the integrity by being a beautiful fabric. So yeah, you'd want to spend money on some key items. And then with the amount of shops that we have available, and every season there's a whole, the fashion industry have to keep recreating more and more trends, and well, it's all a revamp. We've seen it all, but when you get to my age, you've seen it all before, but it's come back in a whole new, fresh approach. So you don't really want to go digging back into your closet that's picking something out from the 80s. That's not so good. But sometimes, yeah, we do see things that we saw in the 80s, and you think, oh, have I still got that scary top? Thank God, no, you haven't. So yeah, I think the thing there is that keeping up with trends and the fast fashion and everything that's around, it's very easy just to be able to go and find something out in the Zara's and the other sort of stores around that have things that are coming in that are an absolute copy of a designer label piece, but they're a much more mainstream investment. You're not having to really spend that much money on feeling up to date and feeling very current. Yeah. And I mean, of course, if you are restricted within your budget as well, then there is a myriad of shops available where you can have an incredibly well put together, a beautiful, elegant, structured look, and it doesn't all need to be very super expensive high-end products either. So yeah, you've got that flexibility, and of course I have to work with people of varying budgets, so that is always part of my job, to know what are those things. Some people only want designer label pieces. That's very, very important to them, that they understand the quality and the integrity. Other people are more interested in how much can I get for my money, and this is how much I've got, and I want a whole new wardrobe. So yeah,
and I
think
have
there's
to say,
lots of,
well, from my perspective, I think I needed a pair of white jeans, a dress for the races. I think there was a pair of black pants as well, and I think I gave you a budget which I didn't think you would meet, which was like $300 or something. And I get so many comments on my dress because you found me a dress that was on sale, that was like 50% off on the day.
Ridiculous.
And
it was a great dress because you could wear it so many, like I was saying to you, it's a dress that you could wear professionally, you could wear it to a cocktail party, you could wear it to a Sunday lunch, you can wear it in your corporate life and your personal life. And I think that is where you've got money well spent, is you want to have a piece that that you are wearing a lot. Why not? It's just by styling it differently with a new necklace, or your hair differently, or a jacket or a scarf or boots or shoes, or there's so many ways to revamp, and that was announced. So I'm so pleased. Yeah, and that's really nice. Thanks for saying that.
Well,
Yeah,
I probably, to be honest, if I'd seen that on a rack, I would never ever have picked that style up. Yet you saw something in it that, obviously you thought would fit me, and it does. It's beautiful. I wanted to ask you a question now. If we talk about, obviously, let's talk about, so you've been in a marriage and you've probably been a little bit, let's say you've forgotten about your appearance and, you know, it's all been unhappy, and all of a sudden you've decided that I'm going to make this next move, or hopefully, you know, it has been part of your decision. And what happens to you that you sit there and you go, okay, now not only am I going to leave this marriage, but it's also time to now revamp my appearance? Is there some key things that we could start with straight away that you would recommend that we could do? Like, do we go through our wardrobe and do we cull everything that has a memory of whatever, and is that going to make us feel better? Or are there some key points that we should be doing emotionally to try and help get rid of all the baggage that come with the unhappiness of the marriage?
Yeah, I guess from my position and where I stand, I think, well, one of the critical things that we do, which is a safety net there, is that our clothes, they're there to protect us. So we have always got key pieces in our wardrobe that we naturally go to. They're going to feel like a nice warm hug, because every time you put it on, you know, it makes you feel safe and secure, and and you're prepared to go out and venture onto the day because you've got that safety net behind you. Sometimes, though, those comfortable pieces that are in your wardrobe are not bringing out the best in you. You know, they're not flattering you. They're not necessarily making you look and feel amazing and fantastic. It's just that it is something that's comfortable in your wardrobe that you know you can just throw on. So it's, unfortunately, I think, for a person to try and do the wardrobe exercise by themselves, or even if they enlist a girlfriend, say, come over and help me figure it out, this quite often is one of the most challenging processes. And for a lot of my services, a lot of my clients ask me to come in and do wardrobes with them because they needed the trusted value of someone who is independent. I'm not here to sell them anything. I'm just having a look at, you know, is this an amazing fit on you? Is it flattering you? Is it making you feel fabulous? So yeah, they're really things that I need to have a look at and assess. I think when we're looking through our wardrobe, a lot of us just get to the place where, oh, boring. But this one always makes me feel nice and comfy, so I'm going to pop that on, you know. Or else I know I can always get away with this and this, and that'll do. So it's if you are in that stage where your marriage has ended and you're ready to get some enthusiasm and confidence and you know, re-energize yourself, you know, I really think that that's part of it, is the fact that I always say, be your own first priority. You know, if we make ourselves number one, then we recognize that what we can do is, we deserve this. You're going to spend the money on the clothes anyway. So why not spend the money on clothing that is going to look amazing on you, make you feel fantastic, and every day you're going out and you're presenting the best version of yourselves. You're not emotionally attached to thinking, I've just got to throw that thing on that makes me feel a bit better. You know, it's everybody's out there spending money on clothing. So I think it's a really important thing to understand the value in enlisting a stylist that has fresh eyes. You know, I'm completely authentic and sincere in saying, this is working, this is not. I'll teach people about understanding their assets and how to accentuate them. Also teach people about where you may be looking at certain things in the mirror, but have a look at the overall frame. Have a look at what other people are looking at when they're looking at you. Because we've got so used to staring at ourselves in the mirror, all we see is, oh, I don't like this bit, and I don't like that bit.
The bad points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
What the value that I got out of your services is especially that I always thought that I probably dressed okay and was, you know, doing the right things, but it was interesting because I cleaned my wardrobe out before you'd actually come to my house, and you still took away, if I remember correctly, 3 garbage bags, big black garbage bags, full of clothes, which was wonderful, because then you donated them to, you know, people going back to work and that, which was lovely. But Yeah, I remember you taught me things that probably I thought I knew, and the value that you gave me, as you said, it was like having a girlfriend there that sat there and you actually did a therapy session with me. I can remember it. Why are you wearing that, and why do you want to keep it, and what does it mean to you?
That's
And all of a
right.
sudden, I'm sitting there thinking, why do I want to keep this? What does this mean to me? And actually, it's not what I want to portray in the world. So, okay, let's get
Mm.
rid of it. And
Yeah,
it's clean.
yeah. And it can be, it is cleansing. It's very daunting initially, I think, because, yeah, you are stripped bare in terms of emotionally, because we don't look in our wardrobes and actually assess, what's my emotional attachment to that piece. That is not going on in the forefront of our mind. But subliminally, when we recognize that pattern and that behavior, when we get into it, that sort of in-depth conversation of understanding, is this really working for you? Is this bringing out the best in you? And why are you attached to it? What do you see in it? Then what you can also see there is the pattern why people keep choosing the same item and they keep buying more and more and more of the same that they don't wear. They still go back to the one that makes them feel comfy, but they've got a wardrobe full of all this stuff that they've accumulated, because what they're seeing is that they need to keep filling that. They need to keep finding that space that makes them feel, yeah, that makes me feel comfortable and safe, but I still keep going back to that one. So yeah, it's a very, very valuable part of the whole style process. It's awesome.
Well, look, it is. And I think that's why you're part of the team, because it's really important that we recognise why we spend money and what we spend our money on. So the key here for us, for both of you and I, is to make sure that you're buying the pieces that really fit your body, that you're buying them at a price point that you can afford, and you're actually not going out and just buying things for the sake of it to fill a void of unhappiness. So that's what your job is on the team, is to make sure that we can rebuild that whole personal appearance. That's what you're so good at.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you, thanks. Yeah, and I think that's what surprises a lot of people, because they've lost that love affair in their wardrobe. They've lost that feeling of, wow, I can't wait to wake up in the morning and get dressed. They probably can't even remember what that was like. It probably feels like a 15-year-old kid. But it's so interesting to see that dynamic change when people recognise that by letting go of things and reinvigorating their style, by getting up to date, because it's not something that we actually consciously do very often at all. Quite often we recognise that we've had a certain style and we're wearing certain pieces that we know we've been doing for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, because we recognise that these key items fit, and so we keep doing it. But in order to change your style and get that re-energize your enthusiasm for your closet and for how you feel about yourself, waking up every day and feeling amazing just by the fact that, oh, I've put this on and it feels pretty good. So that's something that they don't realize they can actually get out of booking a stylist. They just think that, oh, it's just someone to take me shopping. They don't understand that the emotional and psychological behaviors behind why we're choosing our clothes, and the wasted money that a lot of people are wasting because of the unfortunateness that they're buying the same old pieces that they're still not wearing. They've got a wardrobe full of clothes, but nothing that really lights them up. So, yeah, it is definitely value there.
Well, without a doubt, I think it's actually priceless, because moving forward into the rest of our lives, when we go to buy clothes, we're actually thinking about the clothes that actually fit us perfectly, rather than buying something thinking we might wear that next week, or we might wear that whenever, and we don't wear it. We're better off putting that money into something else that's going to benefit our life.
That's right.
Yeah, and
that's definitely.
Yeah, and that's what you've taught me. And I know many of girlfriends and that have used your services and all rave about them. So where can people find you, Liz?
So yeah, on my website, which is styletransformation.com.au, or on my mobile, feel free to give me a call on 0425 783 883. Thanks so much.
And I think you're also on Instagram, aren't you? So I think people can follow your beautiful
Yes, I am. Yeah, well done. Yes,
that you post. Yeah. That you post on Instagram as well. So Liz, I just wanted to thank you so much for being part of my team and being a girlfriend, because you've altered my wardrobe and my life, and I know I certainly takes me 5 minutes to get dressed now in the morning, opposed to going through everything that I thought was good and it wasn't. So that's all gone. So it's even the time management that you have helped has been amazing.
Yeah.
So thanks again for being.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm very proud to be part of your team with an Army of Angels. It's exciting.
Oh, thanks, Liz. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And we'll catch up again on our next interview. Bye for now.